Well, Robert, you saddled up the second favourite for the Australian Guineas on Saturday, Mo Sheen. How'd she come through her second up run?
Came through the run really well, Edward, and we thought on the day, the way she was post-race, that she was probably a little bit further off peak fitness than she needed to be, so I think there was good benefit to be taken out of that run, and she's pleased us since. She's had a couple of solid head-outs since then, and she's worked well, and she's coped with it well, so I think she goes into Saturday's race fitter and probably near her peak.
And her form's looking pretty good, given that she beat That's the One and lost to Shopaholic, who came out and won the Angus Armanask on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. Both those form lines are the best lines going into this race. Her win at Caulfield first up in front of That's the One was good, and then gave Shopaholic 3.5 kilos and got touched off by it, and she franked the form on Saturday. So, yeah, the form line's strong.
And you feel that she's ready to step up to the 1600?
Yeah, I'm quite confident about that aspect of it. Obviously, a lot of things. It looks like it being a full field, so we need a barrier, we need things to go right, but pretty happy with where she is just at the moment.
And she takes on Helmet?
Yeah, he's got a lift from where he was first up, and he can, but there's no gimmies at this level, so you're going to have stiff competition from the likes of Helmet and the Alderson horse as well.
Obviously, it depends on barrier draws, but ideally, where would you like to see her in the run?
Look, if she draws a good gate, she'd never be far away. I'd say she'd be right on top of the speed. She'd be first four.
In the Roy Higgins 2600, you run Persian Star and Sadler Story. Start off with Persian Star, third behind Cheviot Beach at Flemington over the 2000.
Yeah, they both ran in the same race that day. She was fitter, but she was probably coming back from a 2600 of the Werribee Cup. She was probably a little bit one-paced. The 2600 suits her better. But Sadler's Story is improving in fitness all the time, and I can see him performing better than he did last time. So there's not a lot between those two horses.
And with Sadler's Story, this is the first time this campaign anyway that he really gets to a suitable trip.
Correct. His best form is at this trip, and he's had the lead-up races and the conditioning now, so I do think he'll improve.
He ran in this race last year, headed towards the Adelaide Cup. Is that the aim this time around again?
Both horses are in the Adelaide Cup, which is obviously only 9 days later, so depending how they perform and pull up, they might both head there.
And we also see on Saturday Black and Bent resume.
Yeah, he's back. He's had a few trials on the flat. He has a jumps trial this week. Going into a first up over 2,000 is probably going to stretch him, but he's back on the trail and we're all happy with him.
What's the aim for this campaign with him?
Look, there's a number of set weight and penalty races. Obviously, that's the way to go with him. He's weighted out of the handicap, so he probably resumes in the Galleywood at Warrnambool and goes through the Lachelle, those other set weight and penalty races, as he did last year.
Late last year, you touted perhaps some international prospects, Japan and England. Why did you decide to go with the local campaign?
Well, Japan that was an invitation race where they covered all your expenses in the past. That's not the case anymore, so you pay your own way. Very costly exercise, and the quarantine is fairly strict coming out of it, so take a long time getting back. Going to England for one, maybe two races, putting all your eggs in one basket, a lot of things have got to go right, and we ended up sort of deciding against that. Thought it was, he's here, it's his home environment, and there's good money in the local jump scene, so on balance we thought it was the safer way to go.
Is that a possibility for the future though?
Yeah, certainly. I think the connections would like that to be the case, but there's a lot of things to take into consideration. You start carting horses halfway around the world, and a lot of things have got to fall into place, particularly when you're aiming at one race. So, and as I said, we've got good options here.